Hey guys, it's Todd Liles here, and this morning I got a topic for you, and it's going to be on the subject of sales shaming. So here's why I'm doing it. If you look behind me, you're going to see a bunch of seats. These are the people that are in our sales class, our Press Play January 2016 sales class. They're not here yet. Class doesn't start till late. They'll be showing up shortly. Showing up shortly. Try saying that 3 times fast. And yesterday I was visiting with them in the sales class. And a lot of these guys are technicians. They're making their transition to the next phase in their career. They are coming out of the phase of turning wrenches for full time, and they're stepping up into, okay, now I'm going to be the guy that's going to learn how to do more sales. And part of the conversation that I had with them is sales shaming. Sales shaming. Okay, so what is sales shaming? Well, sales shaming is that shame that other people are going to try to put on you that basically says, oh, shame on you. You used to be a technician. You used to provide service to people. But now what you're doing is you're selling. That makes you a bad guy. You should be so ashamed. Well, guys, that's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's silly and it's fruitless. And I wanted to just take a few moments and share with them that there is no shame in selling. As a matter of fact, if we really truly understand what sales is, it is just a higher level of service. There's no difference. It's just that now your impact has grown. So here's one of the concepts that I had them think about. And if you're out here today, if you're a technician and you've been thinking about how can I increase my impact? Well, see, here's one of the concepts that you may not have considered. When you serve a client one-on-one, that's it. You're serving a client one-on-one, and it's a beautiful thing, and there's great joy in that. So technicians, I hope you understand my respect. There's great joy in that. But there's going to come a time to where your sales skills increase. Your ability to reach out and serve a community is going to grow. And what you're going to find is that your one-on-one impact can actually be multiplied. So when you go into sales, now you can go forth, provide a service to a homeowner in a different fashion, talk to them about their new system, talk to them about their water quality needs, talk to them about their electrical system. You can make that sale. Well, option number 1 is you can stay and do the work, which is great if that's what you want to do. But option number 2 is you can bring your crew in, and that crew can do that work and do a great job. So now your impact has been stretched not only you to the client, but now it's been stretched to you, the client, and to a crew. Now guess what happens? Now you can go out and you can do another one, and perhaps even have a second crew working, and then maybe a third crew working. So there is no shame in selling. It's just a natural evolution of what you do, and it increases your impact. It allows you to make more contact with more people, allows your skills to grow. There's another part of it. You get to a certain stage in your career, and what you're going to find is that there are not many technicians. There are some, but there's not many technicians that are going to reach a certain age level and still be able to put in the physical hard labor work of turning wrenches 40 plus hours a week, crawling into tight spaces. There's going to come a point in time to where perhaps you need to have a shift for the longevity and for the success of yourself. Well, when that happens, here's what's interesting. Let's say you've gotten to that stage in career where you go, okay, now it's time. I need to focus on selling. But because you've been sales shaming people your whole life, you haven't developed your own sales skills. You've done a great job of serving folks, but you haven't developed the verbal communication skills. You haven't understood how to read body language. And now that it's time to make this career shift in this industry, you can't because you lack vital skills. That's a bad move. So this is what I shared with the guys that are down in that classroom right there. I said, when you come back to work, there are going to be some people that are going to begin to see you in a different light. Up until this point, you've been their buddy. You've been a technician. You've been one of the guys, but now you're doing more sales. That's going to be the first step of sales shaming. And eventually what's going to happen after you've been doing this for a while and you start to sound different. Yeah, you do sales long enough, you're going to start to sound different. Why? because you're honing a different craft. You're honing your communication skills. You're going to learn to speak with a slightly different language, one that is a language of persuasion, one that's a language of influence. Time's going to go by. You're going to make more money for yourself. You're going to increase your influence. You might unwillingly start to be disconnected from your techs. And in a couple years, some new tech is going to come into your company, whether they're new in their career or whether they're just new to your company, and they're going to make a statement like, you're not a technician, you're just a salesperson. And it's going to send a shiver straight up your spine. Because number one, in your heart, you'll always be a technician. I grew up in Mississippi on a farm. I was driving pulpwood trucks when I was 11. That's not an exaggeration. I was building homes when I was 14. And when someone calls me a salesperson, not a technician, to this day it sends a shiver up my spine. And I just got to get over that. Because there is no shame in being a salesperson. And it doesn't make me not a technician. I'm not practicing the technical work today. I've transitioned my career to something different. Not better, different. Something that allows me to reach my influence out there a little bit further. So if you're transitioning your career, I want to warn you that there are going to be some that are going to shame you for being in sales. But don't let that affect you. Because there is no shame in it. And what will happen in time is that they too will begin to see the power in it. They too will want a little piece of what you have. And when someone calls you a salesperson and not a technician anymore, you can just smile at them and use your newfound persuasion powers that you have learned and said, yes, it's true. I have transitioned into my career, but I will always be a technician. I just learned that to increase my impact, to have a better impact on the company, myself and my family, I needed to also learn my communication skills. Now let me say to you, Mr. Technician, I so appreciate you. We cannot do this without you. There is no shame in being a tech. There's no shame in being a CSR. There's no shame in being a manager. And I certainly have no shame in doing what I'm doing as well. Now, if down the road you'd like to learn how I do it, I'll be happy to share that with you. But until then, I'm going to go turn learning into earning, and I ask that you do the same. So guys, that's my conversation with you on sales shaming this morning. I hope it's impactful to you, and I hope it means something. I'm going to go to comments now. So if anyone's got any comments or questions, you can ask them. Jason's shadowing. I've got a newer technician that's having a problem trying to figure out how to price a job. What do you recommend to do to help him? Okay, so a couple tactical things. First of all, check his mindset. Maybe he's having a problem pricing the job, not because he doesn't understand the technical work of it. He probably gets that. But if he doesn't, walk him through your price books. Make sure he gets it. Make sure you show him how to price out options. Demonstrate that for him. But also check to see where his mind's at. Maybe the real problem is he feels like he's taking advantage of people. Maybe he's looking at it from a wholesale perspective going, this costs more than it should, because he doesn't understand the costs that are associated with the business. So sit down and show him that. Show him what it takes to support a group of people. And just invest the time to see if he can get his brain wrapped around that. And then from there, the problems will either, one, dissipate over time, or two, they'll just make themselves known. And you'll have to figure out either how to, A, coach him through it, or B, the next time you hire, you need to make sure that you do a lot of pre-investigation work. So there's a lot of folks, some of the most successful technicians that I've ever worked with have actually come out of new construction and commercial, which was a surprise to me because I would have thought they couldn't make that transition to residential, but they can. So you just need to have some conversations with them, Jason, but that's a great question. All right. Guys, thanks for being here this morning. Any other questions before we wrap this up, the topic of sales shaming? By the way, Joseph Romero, Joe, man, I was asking about you yesterday. Haven't seen you in the gym, probably just have been missing you. I hope you're doing well, brother. Someone said you might be injured. I hope you're not injured. If you are, I look forward to seeing you again. I know you'll rehab and you'll be in there. Great job, Todd. Love the live videos. Hey, Ryan, it's my pleasure. I love this thing that Facebook is doing. It's a great way to connect with you guys, so that's awesome. All right, guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for, communicating, sharing, being in this groove. So, hey, share this with your communities. Let folks know what we're doing. Tell them to check out the Facebook page at Service Excellence Training. If they're, if you're not subscribed to the blog, subscribe to the blog. Hey, by the way, sales guys, we got an amazing tool, Obliterate the 5 Sales Objections from Your Work Week. It's getting rave reviews. It's 45 pages of actual real-life content. It's free at the website, serveextra.com. Go over there and download it for free. Until then, this is Todd Liles with Service Excellence Training. You know what we're doing? We're turning learning into earning.